go! Greetings, I am Lies, and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal, and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together!
Alright.
So, we shall make the devil pay. That, I promise you. We've been promised.
You. I know I should pull away from her, start looking for a way out. I can't bring myself to let go, and it seems like neither can she.
When both of you in your
With
heads
a quick
go...
boink, peck on the lips.
It's quite silly, you know. But when I woke up and you weren't there beside me, assumably you woke up back at the palace, and in the small amount of time we wandered around here, you walked down here. Because dream time.
Logic, yes, of course.
I could not even remember you were supposed to be there. And yet, I felt such a profound sense of loss. Someone gently removed some of your awareness. I needed that. I said. I do not know what I would do if I lost you for good, Corazon.
I still love the fact that we're going to go take on the devil, and we still haven't dealt with Valdemar or Volgora, and we think that we're going to be able to because we couldn't deal with Valdemar and Volgora. Like, what the fuck does that say about how dumb we are?
We can't handle them, but we'll handle the thing that's more powerful than them and using power from them.
Rational.
It's okay, I'm also just reading this line and going, it's the codependency opera! Da-da-da-da-da!
Yes.
What would I do if I lost you? Continue on and continue being, I hope, badass.
Yes, because that is who you are, and that's why I wanted to come to you, not... My presence here has crippled you. That is not what I wanted to do.
I am very...
Why? I actually... So as much as I like the thing where sometimes you have characters that do that, I also despise it. Because it is a level of also going, the reason why you wanted these characters to get together was because both of them were awesome, typically. And then suddenly you give them this giant fucking handicap, which is horrible to say about somebody's equal or their partner, is that now you are my handicap. You know, like if you ever left me, I would fall apart.
Yeah, as I say, so it's sometimes frustrating to me the way romance is handled in stories, because it really is this experience, and sometimes in stories in many different mediums, including like games and movies and books and stuff,
yes,
that I've seen, where it's an experience of going, I have this really powerful, awesome character, and this other really powerful, awesome character, and when they get together, what I always hope for is that they're more powerful and awesome as a team, right? But then a lot of what I see happen is that it's more of a, you add basically a handicap or a crippling of going, I would never be as good as I was before you if you ever left me.
Right. It's also almost like they actually can't write two incredibly powerful characters together, because if they were really that powerful together, they would be able to take on much greater and bigger things. So they literally have to, like, put them into one person, and then, so, like, if that other person gets, a person gets knocked out of the couple, as it were, they suddenly become less than what they were.
Well, I was gonna say, it's that one. I was gonna say, and some of that is basically the attachment to, as far as I understand, character growth due to loss archetype.
Yes.
Of going, I can drive your arc because you've experienced loss, but also it can be an experience of going, side characters in movies often have strong personalities.
Yes.
Because a strong personality doesn't always carry the story very well, because it can seem sort of too much larger than life if it's the main personality, but if it's a side character, it kicks ass.
Like, Captain Jack Sparrow, which worked really well as a side character, as far as I understand, and then when he was actually put forth as a main character, as far as I understand, a lot of people thought it was horrible.
It worked less well.
It was not very well received.
I say there's actually was a really neat study that I ran into at one point where they talked about how Brad Pitt does amazing as side characters. Actually, someone actually did like an essay on it that I ran to at one point. But it was a Hollywood thing of going, he absolutely kills it as supporting actor characters, because he can do these very sort of distinctive kind of things that are a little bit too much if they're in the main role. Not that he hasn't done good main roles, but that he really shines as side characters, because again, you can make them a little larger than life.
Right.
But that the reason his career hasn't done more things is because he doesn't carry a main role in the same way, because they either have to, one, tone him down, or two, it doesn't draw audiences in as much.
Yeah.
And I would say, I know he had his heartthrob period, and again, he's a big good career. That's why it's easy to find the information.
Right.
But it was a thing that was discussed. They also discussed it with characters like, or with actors like George Clooney and stuff.
Right. Now, the thing is I don't want to dismiss the potential, basically, trauma or unsettling or basically despair or tragedy.
The disruption.
The disruption of going, I have decided to include this person into my life and they add to me. That does not mean that like, if you, like, lost the other person, you wouldn't be upset. But, like, that person also still exists, and they are also, in that way, they are injured. But they are not destroyed. And I wish people would just do more with it, rather than just being like, I am completely, basically, I am incomplete as a person. Like, I have no other personality now that you're with me.
That, or also the thing of, if I ever lose you, I will never be as good or as capable or as competent as I was. And I understand, again, grief wrecks some people.
Oh, yeah.
But you still should have all of your resources and all of your abilities. Even if you can't get to them because of depression, they should still be there.
Yes.
In the same way that, you can rise to the occasion sometimes. When you have a moment of essentially sadness clarity, out just rising up above the sea, you should still be able to do what you did before. You shouldn't, like, lose those pieces of yourself just because you lose a partner.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have some strong feelings on this subject, but
anyway, we can also talk about.
I lost you for good.
Yes,
Corazon.
I'll always find it, or let's not think about it.
Those are your two choices?
That's it.
Well, one, I'll always find you, is, what if I lost you? I'll find you. Then are you not the lost one? That seems like a weird.
But also, like, let's not think about it seems weirdly dismissive. Also, the thing that's pissing me off, okay, so this was so obviously telegraphed to me. Like, I have to say, I don't think that Corazon would have even gotten into this conversation. Because, no, Corazon doesn't have that kind of attachment, again, to Nadia. Corazon admires Nadia for being the strong, powerful thing that they can be, like, along with and add themselves to and be directed by. Not a, oh my god, I'm going to completely define my fucking life by you kind of thing.
Also, the I'll always find you suggests, I will solve the problem, I will caretake for you. And Corazon has been trying not to caretake for Nadia.
Because also that was a thing that was very fucking confusing, going, you want me to what for you? Like, all I'm hearing is you want me to caretake for you, and that's really strange.
And
again, there's nothing wrong with caring for people, but it really does seem a lot like the way that it's written doesn't come across as very balanced, basically, like, supportive, like, I need some help right now, could you help me? Okay, now I'll help you. Because the thing is then they would have to define your character more, and they seem terrified of doing that, so even as much as they have defined their character, you also get a lot of refusal to, so.
I would tend to think you go with let's not think about it, but not let's not think about that, oh god, more like, we're busy right now, this isn't a conversation to have right now, because we're literally in a realm to deal with the devil right now.
Yeah, this is...
Corazon is not one for wasting time when we're in the middle of an event.
Well, and it's also, again, we wouldn't have gotten here. So I almost also want to go with let's not think about it, because we wouldn't have had this conversation.
That's fair.
It seems like I almost can't let go of her. Corazon, I've never had a problem doing that.
I was going to say...
Like, we already recentered ourselves and said we were in the middle of the devil's realm. We wouldn't get to this fucking point.
So here's the thing. If we've already, come to that clarity and realization, which we did.
Yes.
I was just say,
and then suddenly, it jumped back, like it stumbled.
But we know that the realm or the space is influencing our experience and our emotions. It can be very much Nadia going, oh god, I don't know what I'd do if I lost you forever, and Corazon going, that's not you talking. That's whatever emotional pressure we're experiencing here to try and unsettle us.
Actually, that would be the Corazon going, I'm feeling that, and the thing is going, like, something is trying to manipulate us. We've acknowledged where we are. We recognize where we are. We're being influenced by the Arcana. Let's not dwell on it.
Yes.
Let's not think about it.
We're not going to focus our mind there because that's not us.
And also, like, it's trying to keep us here. Mm-hmm. That doesn't help. Let's not think on it. I shudder. Thinking about it anyway.
Because your mind has been pushed in that direction.
Yes, so I have still that, and again, you can still have that dialogue going on in the background, but you're going, I'm still making a different decision, I say over and over again. I'm still making a different decision. This is still coming out. I'm still making another decision.
It's that sort of thing like bravery. Yes. You're scared, but you do it anyways. Bravery isn't not feeling scared, it's doing it anyways.
Yes, I'll do anything to keep that from happening.
Looks at your own thoughts. You're really determined for this particular thing.
really, like, notice me, senpai. What the hell?
I'm also, like, imagining the devil there basically being like, I will work on your one weakness, the fear of losing each other. And Corazon going, you think that's the thing I'm afraid of?
That?
You think this is my big insecurity? You don't know me at all,
That's also,
sir.
again, that I think is really funny about this, where there's, like, again, you can play whatever you want, except, again, you have to have a character who's literally terrified of losing, basically, their partner, which apparently seems to replace part of their own existence. Like, you are my other half. Like, you would have to have somebody who had that.
I just get Corazon. You don't know me.
You don't know me.
Yes.
Da-da-da.
You are right. We cannot waste our time with what-ifs.
And also...
I have reason today. Do not think about it because it's not actually what your brain is doing right now. But, for what it's worth, I will always find you. No matter how lost either of us is. I promise. That is an empty promise because you know there are things more powerful out there than you, but it's very romantic. I appreciate that.
Yes, that's fine.
Now, let's get out of here.
Which is exactly why Corazon would be like... Why would you stop this?
It's okay.
I move to open the front door again, expecting to see familiar streets.
Why would you expect that once you know where you are?
That's actually my question. I'm like, are we out of the influence or are we not? Are we out of it? Are we not? You're like,
No.
But all I see instead is a great gaping chasm leading down into darkness.
Gently has teeth along the edges and a little tongue. Bleh.
Yeah, baby.
Come on in. Bleh.
One problem. Nadia moves to my side and peers over the edge into the shadows as well. Or, Nadia, you should look at this.
Yeah, Nadia.
Not one problem!
Alright, Nadia, what if we use the back door? Well, I suppose we can't go that way then.
Corazon, are we in the Arcana realm? Why, yes. Didn't we say that we could literally do whatever we wanted here and manifest things?
That we could change and control stuff?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're not going to talk about that.
You must ignore that for the moment, because right now we're in a realm of a creature, of a person,
Especially-
of a being that's far more powerful than all the others and trying to make this inhospitable. The devil's more powerful than anything we've faced so far, so we can't do that.
Right. When did that... I'm sorry. Wait, what?
No matter. For every obstacle in our way, we can always make out on the floor instead. Oh, sorry.
She strides over to the back door and swings it open.
I love it that she thought of the back door, because that's what I said.
But
Yes.
why? Okay, so my question again is, if this is your shop, and Asra's shop, I don't care.
If this
live
is your
here.
home,
Why does Nadia know so much about it?
I assume she's been here before.
No, remember we made out here? Like, I understand we've been here before.
Uh-huh.
But the thing that's irritated me, and I understand you also have dream logic, it feels so invalidating sometimes to just be like, I am this character, I'm not allowed to direct anything, I get to be directed fucking everywhere.
For
and it pisses
Nadia
me
to
off.
make all the choices instead of you.
Yes!
That one.
We also didn't like that with Nerd either, actually, where it was like, wow, we are really fucking passive. And when you're trying to play a more aggressive character, like Corazon,
It's a little harder.
this is really weird.
And it is this interesting thing where two roots now, it's like, once you get involved with your love interest, they sort of take over your story.
Yes.
In the same way that in Julian's root, it's like, let's call all of your friends. And, like, you know,
we
two
were
of them
both like, what?
were people that we barely knew at all and were apparently Julian's friends. It's like, that's not all of my friends.
Actually,
One of them I've met once for a minute.
That was so frustrating. I was like genuinely like,
And it is like there's
should I
this strong
care?
shift to the writing of the story tells you again and again, this is your quest, your journey. You are the only one that can change, fix, or control this. And then gives all of the agency to the other love interests.
Yeah, I don't.
Or
fucking
to
like it.
the love interest, not you, you know?
Outside, I can see night sky and water.
A big watery night sky. Oh, sorry.
Delicious.
We'll find another way forward. Now, shall we? She winks at you. Ah. Let's spicily.
Together, we leave the shop and step out onto a familiar dock.
The one with the crickets.
The
The
one-
really loud crickets.
Near the water aggressively. Also, like, how
Hang
is
on.
this familiar? We've never really been... I know, there's the slooshy sound that was there last time. But
I
I'm
forgot about the water sounds.
You did. But I also wanted to be like, we've never really spent a lot of time, actually, at this dock in this route, so calling this dock fucking familiar sort of irritates me again.
Well, and that's kind of going, is this doc familiar?
Because you all, okay, because the reason why I keep pointing this out is because we have both said that we are incredibly familiar with the city, and then at the same time, we know barely anything about it because we barely fucking left the shop. So I'm still annoyed about that plot point that they brought up and then immediately kicked in the face, like, as a character development thing. So I'm like, what is reality? I don't understand.
Yep, what are we actually? Are we sheltered or not?
Right? What kind of sheltered are you? How far does that shelter go?
It's okay, we know how to ride a horse. Familiar dog.
A Barbie horse. Nadia takes a step back, a scowl falling onto her face out of the sky as she looks at the horizon.
Smack. This wasn't exactly what I meant by a way forward. Are you angry about water?
What?
Also, like, if you step out onto a dock, assumably there's something behind you.
Nadia, actually, in fact, I would call that to be a multipath that has opened to you, because if there's ocean, that means you can go in any fucking direction on the ocean.
Also, like...
I mean, you could even go down if you really wanted to, but like...
Again, if you're in the Arcana, you don't have to breathe.
Yeah, you don't!
So, like, the way forward might be down.
The way forward might be down.
That's okay.
We're going down.
We're gonna get wet and go down.
Alright.
Forward. I hate the sea.
I follow her gaze to the island in the distance. Unless it's basically her going, oh god, I didn't mean this because I hate this place. Because she did mention that before, going, well, she hates that island because it reminds her of all of her failures. And I'm like, but you didn't do anything!
This is your...
Nadia, you were asleep for 3 years, which was the 3 years that they had the plague, actually. Except that you were also awake and yet...
Okay. So her going, we need to find a way forward. We'll try this door. Goes out there. That's not what I meant by way forward. This is literally my journey for me and my battle that I have to fight. Oh, your island and your difficulties and the things you are insecure about and frustrated with. I think it might be your journey.
Yeah, pretty much that. Island in the distance. The lazarette.
The lazarette, she says, disgusted. I was stuck there for so fucking long. Nothing but my failure in my face constantly. We're both quite familiar with the devil's tactics at this point.
Except it seems like we're also not familiar with the devil's tactics at this point, because how the fuck did we end up in the position that we were in? Because you would think going through all those mini-bosses beforehand would have given us more experience in order to interact with the big bad. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's not how character development
So here it is. So you know how Corazon was like, my biggest weakness, fear, and discomfort is not just losing this person that I've relatively just met? And the devil going, shit, it's not working. I'll focus harder on Nadia. I know her insecurities for real.
Right?
So...
I guess that would make sense. The devil, I've got you! Corazon. What? I missed it.
He clearly intends to psychologically torment us. And by that I mean me, which will torment you because you're here supporting me. I suppose we must go back to the lazarette again.
There's nothing wrong with going to a made-up lazarette in this realm, which can be literally anything you want it to be. And also you have the power of your mind here, encapsulating you inside your form that you keep even against the devil's will.
Appreciate you pointing that out. I also still hate it.
That's fair.
What if we went a different direction instead of the island?
I mean, the thing is what says we have to go to the lazarette at all?
It's in front of us, and that's...
Why do we have to go around back into the city? Why wouldn't we have... Anyway.
Turns around, the shop is not behind you anymore, because, of course not, but the lazarette's behind you as well. Looks down at your feet. You're on the dock. Carefully walks to the side of the dock, gets off down onto the beach, walks sideways like a crab till you end up somewhere else.
Lazarette. No!
And you've hit shore. Finally, you're just on a tiny little island with docks in all four directions, all pointing toward the lazarette. The devil did it!
You will go to the lazarette! Corazon. How about no? Starts to dig into the ground. Dig.
Manifests a shovel the way Nadia manifests a sword, digs down into the dirt.
Corazon, if I don't need to have hip problems right now and this is made up, I'm gonna fucking just Looney Tunes it to the other side of the world. Fight me.
Start digging to China. Eventually just fall through the ceiling into, quote, hell. The devil, what the fuck?
Yo. See, it worked.
Oh,
I knew it would work.
How did
you do that? Well, you see, I'm the fool, and if logic dictates, I can do whatever the fuck I want, actually.
Him also suddenly getting bombarded by the thing he's trying to shove at you. His like, courtroom / place of power filled with lazarettes.
Right.
Him soaked. No!
That was so good.
Again.
It has no power. We could find another way. It has no power. That's just like, it has no power?
You have no power over me.
Yes, we are back to the labyrinth.
It's
okay.
fine.
Nadia, need to remind you,
Huh?
it has no power
Oh.
over anyone anymore. Except for the fact that that's bullshit.
'Cause
And
the
that the
real one
lazaret
does.
actually, so the thing is that the lazaret still serves a purpose. Like, it would serve a purpose, even, like, in normal land, regardless of, like, without the plague. Lazarets don't just magically appear out of nowhere, and typically people do other things with areas, unless basically the area is so poisoned with corpses and rotting, you can't grow anything there anymore.
So here's the thing. Saying it has no power over anyone anymore, as opposed to it has no power because it's an illusion, is very, very different. It
Yes.
sounds like your MC is instead saying the lazaret in real life no longer can affect anyone or anything, because this is the lazaret from Nadia's dream world in the Arcana. And
or at
so-
least the devil's approximation of it.
Right. The devil's approximation of it. I was going to say, and so...
Right, so all you really have to do, it has no power, because if we continue to insist that our will is paramount to the devil's right now, that is the thing we should be focusing on.
I was going to say, and saying it has no power anymore. Is it not over anyone? We're talking about Nadia. Just Nadia.
And you! It's just a graveyard. It's a place to remember, not to fear. I guess?
Okay.
Why are you making that more real? It's not like, okay, it's not like, though, that it isn't real in that sort of spiritual, like, energetic, but again, like, you have no religious backing to any of this, you have no cultural backing to any of this, so these also assertions feel a little unfounded,
And
because
again-
I have nothing really to back them up other than basically my own beliefs about it, which is stupid, because based on the architecture and the culture and the way that you interact with the Arcana and the way that you have magicians, you should have basically social standards and mores and beliefs about the shit.
And again, on top of all of that, this isn't the lazaret. This is a representation of it inside of a
The
different
Devil's Arcana realm.
Yep. Not
Sigh!
I know that, logically. But I cannot help the sense of dread those shores instill in me.
And it's also not like this place actually can't hurt anyone.
Nope.
This is the Devil's fucking realm. Of course it could hurt you.
It's quite dangerous.
Actually, any of the Arcana's realm could fucking hurt you. As far as I understand, you could literally lose your entire soul/being, so you are nothing but a corpse in the other world. Like, you could lose your entire form to the Arcana. So this is also weird to say, because it's like, the Arcana are all powerful, the Arcana have no power. The Arcana are all powerful, they have no power. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway. I reach out and take her hand.
We are alone.
We are alone, this is fine. Squeezing lightly. I'll be with you. Every step of the way.
Even if we have to walk on top of that water because I don't see a boat.
Honestly, I would prefer to just... It's fine.
What if we just...
How about we just glide?
I was gonna say, what if
I
we
would like
just...
to Jesus, like, Jesus jet ski over there.
I
How about we do that?
That's amazing. I also love the idea of going, what if the perspective were not the same? And you just take a step and you're just on the island?
Right?
And then the dock is way the fuck over there from your other step, you know?
This could be an interesting, basically, test of basically your will. How much you've gotten used to the realms of the Arcana. What are your actual skills in being able to determine, self-determine who you are and how much control you at least have over yourself, let alone the world around you. Because they do go, in the Arcana, you can do whatever you want. So I'm like, why wouldn't you use this then as a great moment to illustrate how far your character has come?
And yeah, yes. Absolutely, do that. I agree.
Thanks.
And we have come too far to stop now. I will not let this get in my way. As if to stop now was an option, because as far as we know, Corazon will still die if you don't defeat the devil.
Just so you know.
And since you've just said you want to spend the rest of your life with him, it's not really too far to stop now. It's, I've decided that I need the end result we're getting here.
Yes.
Thank you, Corazon. Squeezes your hand back, I assume?
I hope so.
Now, let's get this over with.
Okay.
Does not react to the hand squeeze.
When I look down at the dock again, there's a gondola waiting there, bobbing in the water.
As far as I understand, gondolas are not very good for the ocean, but this is fake ocean, so it's okay.
It's fake ocean. So if you don't know, gondolas are actually a specific type of, like, canoe, basically. But they are really, they're not designed for open water.
They're designed for canals, specifically, as far as I understand, or very calm little rivulets and things.
Yeah.
Yes. Like places that don't get tides and waves and things like that.
I appreciate, though, them wanting to give you, I guess, atmosphere.
Uh-huh.
Sort of. Like, gondola seems weirdly, like, placed, though.
As far as I understand, gondolas are available in the canals in Vesuvia. So it's probably a callback to that.
That's fine, but we're gonna go... It's fine.
I say, let's go.
I think we're gonna go across a rather large channel, as it were.
Right, but it's just a familiar boat.
I know. We climb into the boat and begin rowing together.
You both stand at the back and use the standing oar paddle together?
I guess.
Because that's how I understand you locomote gondolas.
The water is still like glass, guiding us closer to the Dark Island. It's almost too easy, like the devil wants us to go this way. But I don't see anywhere else to go, because the city has conveniently disappeared. So because we really did try turning around when we were on the dock, and everything was just gone.
Yeah, and the chasm was behind us.
Yeah, pretty much.
I say, on the other hand, it's like, it doesn't seem like there's anywhere else to go. You haven't even tried or thought about going anywhere else, so it doesn't really matter.
Also, it could be quite literally, hi, confront your fear. You think you have nowhere to go? Jump in the chasm, see what happens.
There's that, too.
There's actually that character point. Anyway, whatever awaits us, probably, on the other side. We'll face it together.
Or waits for us. One of those two.
Yeah. The boat slides to shore. We step out into the ashy sand, or onto it really is what I should say, and nothing happens. It's almost surprising, but the lazarette is quiet.
Well, no point wasting time, shall we?
I take the hand she offers me. Together we head deeper into the overgrown lazarette.
I'm trying to figure out if the lazarette is that island and the building on it has a different name, or if they're both called the lazarette and not distinctive from each other.
Sometimes I think what happens culturally, that just becomes that thing.
All of it.
Like, this area of land becomes, Pemberley House. Because it's considered to be a part of the Pemberley estate. So therefore, it's all, this is the Pemberley House.
And even if you're in the gardens or out, in the hunting grounds or whatever.
Yeah, remember when we were watching Pride and Prejudice, and that was one of the things that came up?
Yeah,
That's
that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, so, like, it's not... I don't know, what is it? I don't know. All around us, the trees grow taller, bending over the path until their branches block out the sun. That sounds like, not taller, but just sounds like they start creeping over. Question.
I see stars and water. What sun? It's been dark this whole time. When did the sun arise, and why didn't we mention it?
I don't know!
The sun is also a star. And
here comes the sun star.
Do-do-do-do-do. Blocking out the sun star.
Suns.
It was nighttime with stars overhead.
Our sun is a star.
Our sun is a star
that burns out really far. Blocking out the sun that is down there. A dark fog rolls in from the water, settling across the ground like a blanket.
I know now is not the time to discuss this, but when we get back to Vesuvia proper... Actually,
this is not the time to discuss this because we don't know where we are at the moment, so why are we talking about things that are irrelevant to what's going on?
There's that, but also I know this is not the time to discuss this. Actually, this could be the perfect time to discuss this because you might need a diversion to get yourself out of the emotional space that you're trying to be pushed in of being very uncomfortable.
That one too.
I was going to say, so sometimes talking about something totally unrelated when you're doing a very important and weighty task can be actually very helpful, as long as you don't have to focus on making complex decisions in the weighty task.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're trying to solve algorithms and talk about something else, that works very poorly. But if you're trying to walk forward through fear, focusing on something else can be really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I know now is not the time to discuss this, but when we get back to Vesuvia proper, I'd like to renovate this place. Perhaps build a memorial plaque to the victims here.
A memorial to plague victims.
Sorry, a memorial to plague victims here. Me, plaque! I'm like, what?
Do you have a culture of doing that?
Do you have memorials to anything?
Like,
is there a memorial to Lucia?
because that is actually a question, because memorials are not common amongst, all people. Like, sometimes people go, a memorial is literally a song, or a story we tell, or a culture, like a social mores we pass down. It's a thing that integrates itself into the system. It's not like, I'm gonna put a statue over here of a Confederate soldier for no fucking reason other than,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
and the thing is memorial is something specific rather than some sort of recognition or distinctiveness.
Uh-huh.
But it's interesting. Also, renovating the whole place to build a memorial sounds like royal scale.
I was also gonna be like, you don't even need to do that if you don't... Nadia, if you hate it, You can just build a tiny little memorial on its own and have no one ever go over to that island ever again. Period.
Yeah, the memorial doesn't have to be on the island.
It also doesn't have to be the entire thing. Do you know what happened to one of our big, huge, giant fucking offshore prisons that we have in the United States?
Mm-hmm.
They just have like a plaque that they put up and they locked the thing off and you can't go on the island, but you can read the information. Like, that's all you have!
On the other hand, this might be how she wants to reclaim the space because of her own discomfort. Again, this is about her.
Yeah, it's all,
not about the community.
I know, it's always about her.
It's okay.
Plague victims. Almost on cue, the trees shiver and shake like angry beasts, howling in response.
One person, this cottage is so cute, we should renovate it. Nadia, this island, I hate it. Let's renovate the entire thing.
I'm going to make it beautiful. Horizontal. You're never going to come here, so why?
The trees, are you going to cut us down?
Bitch! I don't think the Lazarette likes that plan.
This isn't the Lazarette! Oh my god, we're in the Arcana. Have we forgotten?
This is the Devil's Realm!
I think we've forgotten again.
Anyway, so we're going to forget more in the next one. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, interact with them. It actually does a lot for us in regards to YouTube algorithm. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi, Patreon, and our Twitch,
where we play games live and talk to people.
Yes, and it's actually a lot of fun, and we would love to see you there. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you. Bye-bye!